There's no other way to changing the narrative of development in Nigeria except through restructuring. And this is the view of the Ijaw Youth Council worldwide, when members of the group from the state, in the Niger Delta and other parts of the country, took to the streets in Port Harcourt, River State, to make fresh demands. Amongst other things, they are asking for the relocation of the headquarters of oil companies to the Niger Delta region. Our correspondent Emmanuel Ere has this report.
Members of the Ijaw Youth Council worldwide are back on the streets of Port Harcourt in River State. The demands have not changed. Top on the list is restructuring.
Today, governors can't pay salaries. States are owing investment, their infrastructural deficit, and a whole lot of issues. These are the realities before us.
To underscore their seriousness, the group takes their message to the state governor, Nyesom Wike, who is in company of his guest, Senator Dino Melaye, representing Kogi West in the National Assembly.
When you go Abuja, give our president, your president, this letter. Say, Niger people, Niger Delta people, give you call.
For some, there is no confusion about the meaning of restructuring.
People who say they don't know what restructuring means, we know what it means. Restructuring means that if you restructure, we will control our resources.
Then Senator Dino Melaye breaks into his song before making his point.
When I see River State, I see progress. The only way to restructure Nigeria is to vote out Buhari.
For Governor Nyesom Wike, the Niger Delta region should not sacrifice their struggle on the altar of misguided politics.
If you understand the nitty-gritty, if you understand the fundamentals, if you understand what's going on in this country, you have no choice but to say that you have no hope. Established country is
In the build-up to the 2019 elections, restructuring may just be a joker in the campaigns, as some aspirants are already leveraging on it as a strategy for the campaign. Emmanuel Ere, Channels Television News.
Outside our shores, our correspondent Anne Wawodo will be telling us how the second edition of the Goalkeepers Report by the Melinda Gates Foundation was unveiled in New York.
In year 2000, world leaders adopted the United Nations Declaration to reduce extreme poverty before 2015 under the Millennium Development Goals. But violence, lack of education, poor health system, political uncertainty, and other factors hindered the attainment of this goal in Africa. This gave rise to a new plan in 2015, the Sustainable Development Goals. To ensure the SDGs don't end up like the Millennium Development Goals, which although made significant progress worldwide, but failed to make a huge difference in Africa, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation began the Goalkeepers Report, aimed at analyzing the progress made so far and the challenges ahead.
Well, welcome everyone to Goalkeepers. It's great to be back for year 2 and to see so many amazing goalkeepers in the audience. We hope you'll have an amazing day.
The Goalkeepers 2018 edition brought together presidents, health experts, business leaders, human rights advocates, and other people from around the world to witness the unveiling of this year's report and look into solutions to the problems hindering development, especially in Africa. For the French President Emmanuel Macron, progress never comes with just speeches, but action.
Very often we just have speeches without delivering. And I think for me the main interest of this Goalkeepers initiative and the new way to promote multilateralism is precisely about accountability and concrete results. We know that we have the Agenda 2030, we have the SDG and so on. It's impossible to say next year we will deliver everything. Impossible. But if we just have speeches every year without assessing what we do and not do, without focusing on successes first results and weaknesses and failures, we will never progress.
The co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Bill Gates, believes young people must have an urge to change the world for progress to happen.
Of course, we're focusing on young people today because of their importance in transforming the world. Of course, I'm not one of these young people, but I do remember what it was like to be rebellious and have new ideas. I waited until my parents were asleep, and I snuck out of the house in the middle of the night to go up and use a computer in the University of Washington's physics department. There were a few hours in the middle of the night when the graduate students weren't there, and I could have a few hours on this big, amazing machine. The machine was the size of a room, and it was about 8,000 times less powerful than what you have in your pocket. But I would do anything to get my hands on it and try out to see what the magic of software could do. And that's the kind of rebelliousness or new thinking that I'm hoping we can tap into today. The natural desire of youth to change things and make the world better.
Some African leaders are already adopting the theme for this year, which is investing in human capital.
We've had our share of problems, civil war for 11 years, Ebola, man-made catastrophes, and also recently we had a mudslide. With that hindsight, what I have thought of the things I've harbored was how I could accelerate development in Sierra Leone to catch up with the rest of the world. We are lagging behind, I know that, but we don't want to go forward, we want to catch up with the rest of the world. So I have established a list of priorities, but sitting on top of that particular list of priorities is the human capital development.
A lot has been said about holding leaders to account, but education and a healthy population remain very critical at the moment. Now, the frightening revelation about the Goalkeepers 2018 report is that by the year 2050, the poorest people in the world will be found in just two countries, that's Nigeria and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, the big question is, how can we ensure that this ends as just a report and not the reality? The alarm has already been raised. Time waits for no one. From New York, Anne Wawadu, Channels Television News.
The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, is calling on Nigerian elites to play their role in ordering and reordering the nation towards development. Professor Osinbajo gave this advice during the 80th anniversary lecture of Ikoyi Club 1938 in Lagos.
This club came into existence on the 29th of September 1938. As a result of that, we are 80 years this year.
And that is the reason for this gathering, which is part of the lineup of activities commemorating the foundation of Ikoyi Club, Nigeria's first recreation club. Ikoyi Club 1938, as it is now called, has a membership of over 6,000, which cuts across 50 different countries with the primary aim of fostering global harmony through recreation. Governor Akiumi Ambode, who is a member, sees the club deriving strength from its contribution to the society.
The Ikoyi Club is technically older than Nigeria. So the values that we have actually propagated in the last 80 years are things that we must continually project. And I want to also say that, you know, the reflections of the values that I gained from this particular club has actually also reflected in the kind of performance that I've laid my hands on in the last 3.5 years as the governor of Lagos.
The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, is the guest speaker of this anniversary lecture. He wants elites to chart the course for national development.
This club has always had a substantial number of Nigeria's business, political and professional elites, men and women who have played and still play major roles in the Nigerian story. Here, in this very premises, many ideas, policies and thoughts which have impacted and still impact our politics, our business, our profession, have been discussed and consummated. Sometimes, I'm sure, over drinks or while playing golf. There is therefore a real sense in which we can say that this club is one of those where through the years Nigeria's development has been formally and informally debated.
The club, which promotes golf, tennis, swimming, squash, table tennis and badminton among members, came into being officially on Thursday, September the 29th, 1938, through the merger of European Club and Lagos Golf Club.
Africa is leading the pack in mobile money, and Kayode will be telling us more about that and other stories on Business News.
Thank you, Melinda. Welcome to Business News. Africa has continued to lead the mobile money revolution worldwide in 2018, says a new report on global financial access released by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, on Friday. That report says a survey conducted across 189 countries suggests that low-income countries are leading the way in the mobile money adoption. On average, the number of mobile money accounts in a low-income economy is more than twice the number of bank accounts per 1,000 adults. In other regions outside Africa, the IMF report says countries like Bangladesh, Myanmar and Guyana are recording fast growth in terms of both number of accounts as well as accounts via mobile money platforms. Now, two of the world's largest cocoa producers, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, are set to jointly announce a new floor price for cocoa on October the 1st. The historic move, which sets the tone for the 2018 and 2019 crop season, results from an agreement between Accra and Abidjan seeking not to sell cocoa if prices fall below the new base price. Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire are looking to control the prices of cocoa on the international market and also reduce smuggling across the border, helping them to benefit from the cash crop. Also coming into effect is the adoption of a concurrent opening cocoa season and announcement of producer prices to be paid to farmers in the two West African countries. And that's all on Business News.